Hello. Welcome to another episode of Stage Hope. How are you doing today, Cass?
I find that I'm in a space of reflection and just trying to invite more ease. So, all in all, the day is pushing through very nicely. I cannot complain. How about you?
So, I am working on this grant application that's due internally January 2nd. So, I'm like in the midst of it right now. I have drafted parts of it. I've sent it. I just finished meeting with someone, one of my mentors, for feedback on it, which was a really good conversation. So I was in the middle of adjusting it to resend out again to everybody. But I have a few more sections, pieces that I need to draft that's been kind of coming slowly. So I have about 3 weeks left till my deadline. So feeling a bit tense as the days are creeping by, but I'm trying to stay calm and positive and breathe and prayerful, and God knows I need to do this and he'll help me to do it. So that's what it is. That's how it's going to be. So, but I'm trying to take a piece of your calmness. I'm trying to take a piece of your zenness right now to get through this day.
All I say is that you got this. And I always feel like we never understand how the solution is going to fall, especially when we have a lot to do. But I am trusting that you're going to get this done and
You.
it will be well received. I'm holding
Yes.
space for that because I know the agita associated with deadlines. You're like, "Ugh, get off me," but, it's approaching, and you will get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Alright. So, speaking of trying to invite more ease and the current situations that we have going on in our lives, we felt that it would be a really nice focus to share with the audience, what's on our minds, what are our goals, what are our values, and what are some habits and actions that we want to do more of as the year progresses, and what are some things that we're trying to X out based on all of the moving parts that we have in our lives. I think it's a good time of reflection. It's always a good time to just be still for a little bit so
Yeah.
that we can process, take in, and remove what we need to be better. So we'll probably volley into this. Cut me off if you need to, because I'm wordy. Let's
You
just
got
dive
it.
right in. So I am going to ask that Dr. Kayoll go first. Okay.
No. Okay. So, we're talking about what are some things that we're trying to work on. So I was telling Cassandra that, my husband and I, we started listening to more self development speakers, like motivational speakers. And Frank put me on to this guy named Jim Rohn or John Rohn, and he's a motivational speaker, and so he's just been, like, playing him throughout the day in the house, in the evenings, in the background, and then I started listening to him. Well, first, let me see, who is Jim Rohn? Let me read this quick bio. So it says that he's known as, a self in the self-development space. He advocates for self-development as a way to success, and he talks a lot about the importance of responsibility, hard work, and self-discipline to reach one's potential. And in listening to a few of his messages so far, his lectures or lessons, I don't know, he has been talking a lot about self reflection and the importance of doing that. And he gave the example, like, if you were in a business, and when would be the right time to evaluate what is going on in a business? Is it You wouldn't wait 5 years down the line to look at a business. By then, you guys it's been off track and things are going down, at that point, so that's too late. Is it the first day you start something? No, right? That may be too early. But he talks about the importance of, self-reflection in our daily life, and that time is such an important thing that it's such a valuable asset that we can't get back once it's gone, right? And at the end of each day, taking a few minutes before you go to bed just to sit and to reflect about what you did that day. Did you do something well? Was there something that was hard? Was there something that you felt you could have done a little better? Or a situation you could have handled differently. And just that idea of self-reflection is not something that I have done consistently often. I know there's value in it, but I just have not consistently done that. I felt like once I make a plan, I just go through and I do it. And if things aren't working, then I stop and look, but it's not really reflexive or intentional in the way that I've done it before leading up to this point. And so we have been having conversations about like, okay, how can we be more reflective as individuals, but then also as a family with our children, with the boys, what are the goals that we're writing down that we want for ourselves and how are we taking action? That's the other part that he talks about too is like goals on paper is nice and all, but if there's no action to it, it's not going to do you anything. That's the
It's just
difference.
a dream.
Right? Yeah, it's just a dream. And so, what are the actions that we're going to take towards these goals? And then the reflective piece to kind of check in with ourselves and with each other about how we're doing. I don't know. Are you big on reflection? Are you intentional in that way?
Man, I think I probably do too much reflection, I might say.
Wow. Okay.
And so to the part of you mentioning, sometimes I tend to be so reflective that I'm not taking action, right? So
Mm,
everything is in ideation phase or it's wonder, right? I'm wondering what I should do next. I'm thinking I should do it next. I'm
okay.
like, how? But when you are, I find that I brew so much that I feel like, okay, I'm getting scientific here, like stored potential energy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like kinetic. When are you actually taking action?
Yeah.
What does, getting stronger physically feel like?
Yeah.
Not just the mindset of, I think I could work out today, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, let it be imperfect,
Yeah.
right? I think, so to that point, your question, I think this year, this past 365 days, I've been more reflective than I have probably ever in my life. It's not consistent, right? It's not every day because I find that just the sheer pace of the week changes from day to day,
Yeah.
and I create some grace in how it looks, but I do want to build more consistency, trying to figure out what that looks like, whether it be in the morning or towards the evening.
Do you think you are like stuck on perfection? Are you a perfectionist?
Ooh, yes and no. I find that I am a starter, but I wanna work on closing. I'm trying to be a Kobe Bryant, okay?
Yeah. Oh my
In like
gosh.
sports, right? Who's the closer, right? Who are you going to pass the ball to? Or when you are met with a challenge, it's not that we all don't have it, it's how are you closing it? How are you not letting it brew and grow and become this sort of, like, big cloud that just
Yeah.
expands? How do you close it so that you can make more time for efficiency? So part of the things kinda segueing is, like, I wanna do less better,
Mhm.
right? I
Oh,
have so
okay.
many tabs
Say that
open.
again. You wanna
Oh,
yeah.
I'm about to coin this trademark, whoever's listening to this. Here we go. I wanna do less better, right? There's so many different aspects of our lives, right? Spiritual, financial, mental, creativity, um, all of the I think there's seven styles of rest. And when I think about all the spinning plates, I try to look at 24 hours, or I try to look at a week and say, "What were you doing?"
Mhm.
Right? So part of being adults and more specifically being a parent is you're always going to be cleaning.
Say that again.
Like,
Yeah.
I saw a post that was like, "Oh yeah, 90% of our lives is cleaning and cooking." Right? Just the day to day.
Mhm.
And so how are you taking the hum of life and saying, "Yes, I know I need to clean. Yes, I know I need to do this. Yes, I wanna do this, and I want to do this." So what I find is I've picked up so many things that I am not becoming an expert or efficient at anything. I'm just doing a lot of little things. A lot of little things.
Yeah. Isn't there a phrase for that? Like when people become like a jack of all trades, king of
Yes,
none,
master of none.
master of
That's it.
none. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask myself, like, be better at being more selective so that you don't have the engine running all the time and that you can put your energy towards the things that you want to drive to the finish line
Mhm.
at the end of 2026.
Wow.
So less
Man.
brewing and saying, I have done away with a planner, and people know I love my stencils and my little stickers, and I like making things look good.
Okay.
But what I've been trying to do more of is, what do you have to do? What would be a nice to have? And what do you need to let go of? Right? I always
Yeah.
want to work out. So, yes, doing less better is part of. So, how do you feel? I know you two are juggling a lot of things. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, that I can resonate a lot with what you said about like finishing what you start because I feel like especially in I have so much projects going on. Like I'm writing so many different papers and I have trouble finishing out. Like I will start it, I will write it, I'll get through the middle, do the analysis, write it up. But I find that the last bit that needs to be done, the last bit of concentration to sit, to format it, check for grammar, the final actions that needs to be taken to get things over the finish line, it's like it's sometimes so hard for me to do that or to get back to it. So I have so many things, projects that are almost in that almost finished stage. And I don't need them to be almost. I need them to be done and out of my off my to-do list, so I can check it and feel satisfaction when I finally cross that thing out that it's finally done. So, yeah, I do need to be better at that too and like finishing what I start.
Let's
Um,
dig into that though, right? So it's a beautiful thing to bring recognition to it, right? To have the self-awareness of the actions or inactions that we're taking. What do you feel like is preventing you from closing out anything? What is that?
whenever I have like certain things to do, I get like I start thinking about it and thinking about it kind of sometimes makes it feel overwhelming to go back and sit down and reorient myself and get myself up to date with where I was, where did I leave off. And I know that that's a problem because of spending too much time to go back to it. I need to like go back to the thing quicker. But in that space of other things coming up and finishing this so that I can get back to this, that distance creates kind of like anxiety to go back and to sit and to finish and then procrastinate to go back and finish the thing. It's a terrible cycle. Like it's like I know it, and sometimes I still fall into it. But and listening to this guy, and he talks about like purpose, and when your actions align with your purpose, then it kind of makes things easier to fall in line together. And so I have been trying to kind of reshape my thinking in a way that makes what I'm doing, I connect it with a bigger purpose, with a bigger reason, you know? Like I'm not just writing a paper just to write a paper. No, I'm writing a paper because the topic I'm writing on is important and I think it will help other people. And not only that, but I worked with people to get to this far and I owe them and myself the satisfaction of pushing it to the finish line as a testament to all of our hard work together. So I've been trying to think like this to change my thinking in a way to make things less tense when I do go back and sit or when I have trouble like getting up because you're not always going to feel motivated to do something. But if it's, I have heard, and I'm trying to now experience this by implementing it, that if you connect your actions to your purpose and what you think God has put you here to do, and hopefully what you're doing is aligns with that in some way, then you realize that what you're doing is bigger than you, or is bigger than me, or this small little tense feelings that I feel. So get over it.
I mean, this is resonating me with me. I know that, for you it's very much the act of purpose, right? And you recognizing that even though something may be purposeful for you, right? It's about the feedback loop. Charles Duhigg is, I've been listening to a few segments about his teachings, and he teaches something that goes by the acronym of ARC.
Okay. What's that?
A is anticipation. A is anticipation. Like, how am I creating like a looking forward to mindset about the action or goal I'm looking to take? And then the R is relaxation, right? How am I letting my central nervous system sort of come to grips with it, sit with it? And then the C, I believe, is connection, which is what one might say, making it meaningful and or purposeful. So I find that when I have something really big to do, a suggestion that I got from a manager of a manager years back when I first started working out of college, and I still use it to this day
Mhm.
in thought, but I don't use it in action yet. He said, head to the red.
Okay. What does that mean?
What that means is when you have something that is either big or is challenging, don't just scurry to the small little things like maybe the things you don't think of, washing the plates,
Okay.
or let me go take a quick shower,
Yeah.
right?
You're avoiding it
While you should shower every day, right? For cleanliness, do you really need to do that to
i-
do the thing that's due, right?
in that
So I
moment.
find that
Yeah.
like, yes, I find that like I tend to procrastinate, right? Because I'm building a sense of agita around sitting down and actually tackling the thing that I need to tackle. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me call my mom. Let me answer the short email.
Yeah.
Let me do the easy. Let me grab the low-hanging fruit instead of taking the energy that I have in the morning." Or I really wake up at 10 for those who are listening. My wake up time is like 10 a.m. in my clock in my head. So, how are you allowing yourself to say, "You know what? This is hard. Let me put the hardest thing right in front of me
Yeah.
and dive in instead of dodging it and then losing time because I'm dodging it."
And it's like we know what to do, but damn it, we got to do it, man.
Got to do it.
How has being diagnosed with breast cancer and finishing treatment affected how you view time or your purpose or like how you spend it?
Oof, time is a currency that I think we all take for granted. And when you go through something that either that challenges you, like your existence, right? It challenges you in the particular moment, but it for those who are able to heal and get past the treatment, past the radiation, past it all, you still have your mind to heal. And that is a forever life journey.
Mhm.
So I tend to savor moments that I was not savoring before. My children, for those who have children under a certain age,
How old are your children?
6 and 3, they need us. They are growing. They are learning to be small humans but their EQ is not yet fully
Mhm.
developed, right? And I find that I am quick to react, right? In spaces and places where I shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I find that it's like I am wanting to be more present. I am wanting to stop the multitasking so I can really do the thing or be with the people I want to be with. Like, look them in the eye. I think before this, I took my health for granted. I would eat anything. If I had to burn the midnight oil, I would. And I think what that diagnosis has done to me is made me say, without your health, none of these things are possible. None. So no matter what I got going on, yes, of course, it's not going to look the same every morning, but I will literally ask myself, like, have you had the water? You're about to go answer this email for your manager, but what did you do for yourself? And if the answer to that is nothing, I will literally get up from what I'm doing,
Yeah.
not playing around with it. Now I'm praying that actually doesn't soften because I'm so sort of close to
Going back to work.
the yeah, going back to work and close to when I'm not even a year out of treatment.
Mhm.
So when something is super raw, it's like grief, right? It's loud, it's in your face.
Yeah.
So I'm curious with you being a little bit further away from all the things, how has being diagnosed changed the way that you move and what you do?
Yeah, so I am a p I finished treatment in 2022, so I am about 3 years, almost 3 years removed now, and like you know, when I finished, I had all this renewed sense of purpose, but then also, like, it's like all the things that you took like you said, you took for granted before, you had a renewed vision for your life, for how you want it to be. And so for me, that was I didn't want to stress so much about work. I felt like before that work was such a big part of the anxiety in me, you know? And I didn't want that to be the case anymore. And at the time too, I wasn't what I was doing, didn't really find meaningful, like the topic. So I'm a nurse scientist. I do research on before it was like vaccination decisions, HPV vaccination and things like that, which is very important. But I was kind of losing my passion for that topic. And I was as a secondary area of study, I was also consistently studying the role of like culture and religion and spirituality in people's health decisions. And I was more so interested in that, but I just didn't know how to make that shift, you know, because so much of my work was already published on that particular area, the first part. And so when I was diagnosed and finished, I was like, man, no, like I'm wasting time. I want to do what I want to what I'm actually interested in terms of work wise. And so right when I finished, I was still trying to do both. And then I had a conversation with this senior research person, world renowned, and she was like, "Listen, you can't do both. You have a family, you have children, you are tired, you know, like, and trying to carry two programs of research is not going to work. So if this is what you want to do, just do it." And that conversation was so freeing to me, you know, because I'm just like, I just felt like I couldn't. I just felt like I was in a box, you know, and this is what I started with, and I had to finish with it, and I had to continue with it. And, you know, and I didn't quite know how to make that transition. So since 2022, I've been trying to make that transition. It's been very slow. I'll say that. It's been very slow because what I didn't realize is after, you know, I finished treatment, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I went right back to work so quickly, but I didn't realize, like, I was, like, really fatigued. Like, I was
Yeah.
dealing with, tiredness and fatigue and, issues with concentration. And by, like, 6 o'clock, like, I would be done. I had no energy for anything else, but I was still trying to behave like I did before diagnosis and treatment. I'm a night person. I would stay up all hours of the night doing my work, wake up, you know, and then go to work or take the children to school, all that stuff that you have to do. But I realized like, no, like I am literally not the same person, you know? And I was in a really hard time making that transition, figuring out how do I function now? How do I be productive in my work? How do I be present as a mother, as a wife, as a person for myself spiritually? What does that look like now? You know, and and I was just trying to fit what I was doing before into who I am now, and it just wasn't lining up, and that was giving me a lot of stress. And I spoke to, my mentor, Jill, and she was like because I called her one day because I was just, like, crying. I was just like, "I can't do this anymore," you know? Like, I think I was like, "Imma lose my job. I don't think I can do this." And she was like, "Alright, calm down."
Yep. Yep.
It's just like, listen, your brain is just different now. You just got to figure out how this new brain that you got works and figure out what you got to do and how can you do it with where you are in life at the moment. And so since that conversation, I've just been trying to figure out what is my limit? You know, how far can I push myself before I feel too stressed or too tired or so now when I used to be able to like go to bed at 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. and wake up at 7 and have functioned fully the next day. I can't do that anymore. Whenever I do that, the next day I can't. I'm so tired. And so I realized, okay, I think my limit is like midnight, which is still late, but it's not 3 a.m.
Right,
And
right.
maybe 1 if I'm gonna like maybe between 12 and 1 a.m.
Yep.
And in those times, I know that, whenever I do that, Frank knows, okay, he has to do the children in the morning because I'm gonna need to sleep in a little bit to kinda get those hours back? And so really verbalizing to Frank what it is that I need more and not just being, "Oh, I'll just figure it out," because I did that a lot, and just take on everything like I'm a superwoman or something, and I'm not. And so, yeah, figuring out my limit, but then also not falling back into old patterns, which
Yes. Oof, that's a good
I
one.
is hard, because it's
Very.
there. It's there on the
It's ingrained in us. It's a part of us, right?
And unless you're
So
intentional,
what?
it's still gonna be there? And so that's why which I'm trying to listen to these self-help people and actually find something, one, that's feasible for me and integrate it
Mhm.
into my world, however it is. And I don't know, and just do it, but actually put things in place that will help me to do it. And I'm still figuring this out even 3 years later. I'm still figuring this out. What does this look like eating wise? Being physically active, spiritually sound, parenting, like you mentioned, not knowing now when my children comes home, okay, put the work down, turn the computer off and talk to them, make eye contact, hug them, physical touch?
That part. So, oh my gosh, okay. It's so funny that we started this conversation with time, right? Because I find that a lot of the things that we're mentioning, right, whether it be being busy at work, right, and to the point where it spills into the evening slash early morning hours, or right, asking your husband, like, "Hi, I need help." To me, what I hear is like discernment, right? Can I have? We're always going to have these spinning plates, right? And we're going to be in different chapters in our lives, and there's going to be days where the demand is on your children and not on work,
Yeah.
and then it shifts to work and then not so much the kids, right? I think I'm looking for wisdom. We could sit here, we know each other outside of this little platform that we have here, and we both have 2 small kids, we're both married, both in the same sorority, a lot of similar points, but my life is not yours,
Mhm.
and my children are not like your children. Our working situations are different, and so I think what's really, really important, especially right now where we're in a space where we're taking in so much information, self-help, spiritual practices, religion, entrepreneurs. There's so many things that I'm literally ingesting. And then I think it's really important to say, what does that mean in terms of me? Now that I've taken in all this information, how do I make it applicable to myself so that I'm not overstimulating the expectations of what ought to be done?
Making it even another stressor for yourself because you're not meeting those goals or something.
Exactly. I think we're taking in a lot of information, and I really want to make sure that we are not overwhelming ourselves.
Mhm.
There's so much information. Like, we were in a chat group together. I was like, why am I not reading more? Like, what is really good? Like, what is happening? And I realized, girl, you are listening to so many podcasts and YouTube clips
Uh-huh.
and Instagram inspirations and reels that you are not reading. I hate to even say it out loud, but I can't remember the last time I read a book in sort of a nice chronological order this year at all.
Mhm.
I keep starting and I keep having to sort of restart because I forget where I last left off.
And that's so and I like that we're in the book club because what I learned is, listening to podcasts, audiobooks is reading, because I'm just like, how are they able to read finish it so quickly? But me, I'm used to just buying the book, having a physical thing in front of me and actually reading. And so maybe I need to do some more audiobooks, like listen while I'm play it in the background. I don't know, while I'm doing something when I go for a walk or something. Cause, there's so I just think of the basic way of reading rather than actually taking advantage of technology in that way.
Well, you know what? I love that. I think technology, speaking of technology, I one of my understanding of my actions is that I need to take a pause from social media.
Mhm. Girl, don't we all?
You need to take a pause, you need to put your phone down because when we look at time takers, sometimes the time taker is not just this like hour-long meltdown that your child is having or you having to cook dinner. The time taker, I find, is, like, in that small little, like, "Oh, I'm done with my meeting. Now I'm on my phone."
Mhm.
Or I'm in the meeting, and I have my phone in front of me. So now
Okay.
am devaluing the moment of attention to the movie, to my husband, to my children, because I'm trying to multitask. Now I
Mhm.
know time waits for no one, and sometimes you've gotta balance both. But I find that like in moments where I actually have an opportunity to not have my phone on me, I'm looking for the next thing to do. Like, oh, did I message this person? Or did I
Yeah.
like do you need to touch base with your mother right now? Or can you give this man 45 minutes?
You know where I experience that a lot? When I'm trying to do my quiet time and read my Bible and pray, and it's like all the things I didn't do is coming back to my mind, and I'm just like, "No, I gotta put it off, gotta put it off, gotta put it off." It's such a distraction.
Yeah. I think even hearing you say talk about that, trusting, right? Yes, we're gonna forget. Yes, we are going to. Now, if it's urgent, I always ask myself if it's urgent and time sensitive, sure, right? Especially if it's impactful. But if I tell myself, oh, I don't know, I need tomatoes for the recipe I'm making tonight, it's not a deal breaker to stop for those tomatoes, right? Or I need to call a friend. Really allowing your mind and space to be a little bit more fluid and not trying to busy it up with all of the things. Talk to my husband. I'm sure Frank can attest to this. I struggle to do nothing.
Okay.
Why?
Why?
Why? Because I have this concept that it will build traffic on the back end. It will
Hmm.
build too much, like bottleneck
Okay.
towards the end. So, for example, packing for a trip. My preference is to pack a little bit each day,
Okay.
right?
Instead of just doing it all at once and be done with
Instead of
it.
doing all at once. Because
Okay.
you might forget, you might have something crazy happen. My husband is better at saying, "This is the moment. I know I need a break. I'm going to take it. No guilt. What basketball game is on? I'm watching it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Knicks is on. I don't hear any of y'all because I'm watching the Knicks. Period. You don't even I be like, "Yo, like, you were, like, in the kitchen." And I want that deliberateness, like,
Yeah.
I need a break. Don't just, like, muscle through because
Mhm.
resilient is this badge of honor,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
Who are you performing for?
Yeah. Are you gonna get a sticker
Oh,
at the end?
right. Like, go lay your behind all the way down. So, yeah, part of that is just putting social media down so that I'm properly resting,
Yeah. That's
you
so
know?
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean, I commend Dane for that, and maybe I don't know, is it easier for I don't even won't even say it's
I think
easier
so.
for
Yep.
men to do it than others because my husband is a busybody person, but yet he still finds time to do that, I guess so maybe I don't know, maybe
I think so.
they're
Yeah,
just
same.
onto something.
They're busy, but when they need to rest, you're like, "How are you resting like that? Like, how are you do you not
Mhm.
hear your children?" Like, I hear I can't function right now.
Tune them out.
I can't sort them out the way that you do. What kind of magic trick are you doing? So, I really wanna tap into that because it is gonna be noisy, it is gonna be messy. Um,
Yeah.
I want to I want to embrace chaos a little bit more. It's
Yeah.
not gonna look like Instagram.
Girl, Instagram is not a real place.
It's not real, right?
Yeah.
I want to be better at understanding that the way in which the solution happens, I'm not in control of.
Mhm.
The goal, the whatever, like the grace is I need more of because my type A personality kicks in. So, how do you handle failure? And when I say failure, that sounds harsh, right? So, it's like, okay, let's say you are trying to get to an event and you wanted to be there at 8:30
My
and
goodness.
it's 10 o'clock and you're not there.
Mm.
What is the brain response?
Okay. So I'm not always the most on time person. Let me just start
PSA,
by saying that.
I'm right there with you.
But there are places that I find it is very important to get there on time. Whereas Frank, on the other hand, thinks, well, we'll get there when we get there. One of those places being the airport. So if we got to get on a plane and our flight is at 8 a.m., takeoff 8 a.m., that means we got to be there. We got 40, what? We got to be, they closes 10, 20 minutes before, what is it, 10 minutes before the door, before takeoff, they
Yeah, I
shut
think
the
it's
door, right?
15. Yeah, yeah.
15 minutes. So that means okay, so that's 7:45. So, all right. So that means we got to get through security and at the latest be there by 7:45. So why not give us an hour at the minimum? So that's 6:45. But then to leave the house is another hour to get there. So that's 5:45. My husband wants to leave the house for an 8 a.m. flight, leave the house at 7 a.m. Talk about we can do it. We can make it. No, it stresses me out, man.
Stresses,
It
no.
stresses me out. So it depends where we're going. So if things like that that has a hard deadline, we gotta go. Because I'm not gonna be a happy partner to be next to if we're going late because I'm stressed. But if it's like other things, we really am trying now to do my best with being on time. But if and so I still get places late. But I don't like how I am getting to places late because it's like I'm rushing to get there on time, even though I'm late. And so in me trying, I'm like, hurry up, do this, do that, hurry up, let's go. And I don't like that. I've realized I feel stressed. Like I feel all the pent up intensity inside of me. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I have been trying to like, okay, we got to be somewhere by 5 o'clock. Let's leave the house. Let me Google, see how much traffic gonna be. Let's give ourselves 45 minutes. Let's give ourselves 30 minutes at the minimum, to go and get the place on time. So I'm trying to do better with that because not meeting deadlines or stress, it is stressful to me. And that's the same thing with work, with writing. But unfortunately, that has not changed much. I'm still doing my best, but I work down to the wire to get things done. But I wish I was those people who had their things finished a month in advance. That just hasn't been my story. I don't know if it will be. I pray it will be, but um yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
So no, it's so I know we've talked about like reflection, right? Reflection, going inward, being intentional, and then we've talked about time. And I keep wanting to go back to like things outside of work, right? So if we leave out work, two things
Yeah.
that I know is like
Cause
sending,
see, even then, I still talk a lot about work. And it's
yeah,
just like
like
crazy
that,
to me. Like,
right?
no, I need to let it go.
So what's fascinating to me is let's talk about the top two things, right? Work and a flight.
Okay.
Those are probably the top two things where I'll bend over backwards. It was just like, okay, no, we gotta go, right? And you'll put a little bit more sense of urgency
To it.
around
Yeah.
getting things done. You see that energy? I
Mhm.
want to apply that energy to other things,
To
personally,
yourself.
to
Yeah.
myself.
To
So
self-development.
that when you're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I wanna get better," how do you create a little bit more self-urgency around working out?
And that's what Jim Rohn was saying. Sorry, I'm going back to him because
Go
he was
ahead.
like, "You need to work harder on yourself than you do on your job." And that math is not mathing for me because I find that if I have a deadline, the first thing that I give up is working out, and then next it's not eating properly because I'm just at the desk writing. And I need to change that because I'm just like, "Man, I can't continue to do this because I know where this path leads, and I wanna like what I see when I look in the mirror," you know what I'm saying? And so that includes movement, that includes walking, that includes some form of physical activity, eating well, drinking water, if that means walking around with that gallon of water, let me do that.
Now I'm playing psychology, right? Because I think what's really important about improvement is not only the desire to do it, but
Mhm.
having the tools you need, right? So
Yeah.
when, like, you're gonna have deadlines. They're part of work,
Yeah.
right? You're going to have the holidays come by, and it just throws a wrench. We shouldn't be after perfection. It's, how do I see the deadline and maybe take a 15-minute walk?
Yeah, because it helps. It helps.
And I think what's really important is about seeing the value of the thing that's helping you. Because I don't think I see it sometimes. I'm like, the deadline is here.
Mhm.
So I need to stop everything because the deadline is here. And that's where my brain energy power is needed. Not
Exactly.
understanding that the workout feeds into your brain, like that.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, girl.
So,
So what we gonna do about this?
girl, that's a good
All
question.
these things we just said we need to do better at. Well, how we gonna
This is what I think. I'm gonna just stop me when something just a couple of things is social media. I need to be honest. I'm one of the addicts. One of the addicts.
Mhm.
You need to get I need to delete it. I'm the person that needs to delete it. Some people put it like at the end of their phone. They put like these focus
Yeah.
times on their phones. I need to get rid of it because it's literally impulsive at this
Mm.
point. And when I say social media, I'm not exempting YouTube, y'all, or
Mhm.
TikTok or Instagram, any form of ingesting information at a rapid rate.
Yeah.
I
Were
need to
you
put it down.
just swiping,
Yep,
keep
I'm just
swiping?
swiping. Oh, look at
Yeah.
this outfit. Oh, look at that lipstick. Oh, look at that meal that I wanna cook. Let me think about the no. Number 2, I think it is planning ahead the night before.
Mm.
That's an activity I want to do. Don't just let tomorrow come unless it's a Saturday. Don't just let it come. Ask yourself, what is the non-negotiable that day? So you understand where your time and energy is. If I know I'm about to have a heck of a busy week, I might want to try to meal prep and not on a Sunday. Maybe it's the Saturday.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know why they call it meal prep Sundays. We leaving too much on Sunday. People are going
Yeah.
to church. People are going to the grocery store. You're trying to do too much on a Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, and isn't that the day of rest? Aren't you supposed to
Yes.
be resting?
So it's like, how are you just seeing your time a little bit better? How are you planning for the time instead of trying to make the decision in that time?
Yeah,
That's
which
what I need to do. So
me
get
too.
that
Yeah.
notepad and asking yourself, I don't need tomorrow going in whichever direction. Where do I need
Mhm.
to focus? What do I need to table? So that I'm not saying, oh, well, didn't eat my salad today. You knew you weren't gonna have time to make no salad. Stop. So
Yeah.
don't lie to yourself and then create this sort of like negative feedback loop.
Mhm.
Um,
I like that.
you know, do less better. As much as I want to be an active participant of that book club, I know that I need to get off my phone first. So I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I just failed at the book club because
But you know what? I have been showing up to all of the meetings. I have not read one book. I don't show up for I show up to see people and to talk
I
and
love that.
to unwind with them and to see them? And the next book, though, I have it on my to-do list. I'm gonna do my best to read this next one.
Okay, fair.
So, I am looking at that as a space for sisterhood, for socializing. Yeah, and they know I'm just there to see their faces?
Right, right.
And but one day I'm gonna read one of these books, and it's okay, and it's gonna be good. So then I'm trying to make the next one it. But
Look,
yeah, do less better.
do less better. I'm gonna stop beating myself up
Mhm.
so that I can recover mentally, psychologically faster. I find that when I miss something, whatever it is, it's like I'm sitting there, I'm sulking. Move forward, move forward. Invite the solution that is ahead instead of dwelling on what has already transpired. Too much
Yeah.
of my energy is spent there. I'm gonna make my bed in the morning. It takes me 30 seconds, unless the kids have wreaked havoc. Just find small visual yeses in my day.
Mhm.
I really feel like as much as I know I can't be cleaning every day, there's something about a clean kitchen counter that changes my whole spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? We know that while I love the comfort of sweats, there's nothing like when you are dressed to the gods and you're like, "Ooh, I feel good today."
Yes.
You know? So, "Ooh, I'm feeling myself."
Mhm.
So, I'm going to shop my closet a little bit more,
Okay. What does
right?
that mean for
Less
you?
so that means less consumer, like less consumerism. Stop looking for like these outside things. I mean, we all like to, buy things here and there. Yes.
Yeah.
But I find that there's ways to spice up the way I wear something. So maybe it is a pop of red lip.
Mhm.
Maybe it is a nice big stud instead of the same hoops. You see me with them right now that I wear. Maybe it's a different nail polish color,
Yeah.
right? To go with the season. I want to add a little bit of vivaciousness to my day because I think that creates a looking forward to. So that even if I'm dreading that presentation at 9 a.m., at least I look good. Like,
Love that.
um, what else?
You've said a lot. You've said a lot. And what I've learned is when it's a lot of things that we wanna improve on, tackling it all at once sometimes is hard. It's not
Overwhelming.
feasible. It's overwhelming, and it's like another stress because, man, I didn't do what I said I was gonna do. So, I think picking one thing to try for the month may be a good start for you and for me, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So what are if people are walking around, those who see you on a day to day and those who don't, what are the top 3 things in front of mind right now for you? Like what are the top 3 things you're like, this is what I want more of? It could be a thing, it could be an event, it could be anything.
Yeah. I want more. I'm gonna start with movement. I find that I
I'm
work
writing
from
this
home a
down because
lot.
you know I'm gonna keep you accountable.
Yeah, yeah, please do. I work from home a lot. I do go into the office, but most of my days I'm like in the house working. And I find like I don't go outside. Sometimes I go out for a walk and stuff, but I want to be more intentional with either going somewhere that requires me to move. Like I've grown up, I've always been a sports, like an athlete. I love playing basketball. I love watching basketball. But in adulthood, it's like it's been hard for me to be active. When I lived in North Carolina, I joined a running club, and so I was running marathons and all that stuff. But since moving to Boston, it's just a different stage in life, a different responsibilities, but I just haven't been able to like really integrate that into my life as consistently. And I realized that that was also a social activity for me too, because I like doing physical activity with people, you know? And so it's a way for me to like meet new people, friendships and things like that. And so I have been really thinking about what do I want to do to kind of as a way that's also exercising, but also social. I've been thinking about like one of these clubs, like Lala was telling me about Pilates yesterday. So I'm like, oh, there's a solid core class, studio next. That's a few minutes away from me. It's like maybe I should try Pilates or something. Or I did try to join a adult basketball league, but the place burnt down. So that
Someone said no. Mm-mm.
that's on hold. That's on hold, but yeah, so I need to identify and be consistent with putting that first, like, even if it's 2, 3 days a week, something that requires me to move my body out the house that yeah, just wanna try. So whether that's running again, some type of sports or something, I don't know. But that's one. But second, I started by talking about, like, reflecting. I wanna do more of that and really reflect at the end of the day, like, have that quiet time where I'm thinking about the things that I did. What do I think about that? What do I wanna, like, do better the next day, and really spend time writing and journaling and talking to God about it. Um, that was something that I did a lot while I was in treatment, and I realized coming out of it, with going back into your routine, it kind of pulled me away from that me time that I had carved out for myself in spending time alone, like reading my Bible often, praying, talking to God throughout my day. And I want to be more mindful and intentional with that. So that's two. And I don't know. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna just leave it at two for now. And
Those are
we'll
solid.
see what the year brings. But if wanna be more consistent with those 2 first and then, before adding on to anything else, because there's always more.
There's always there's the top few things that come to my mind is actually like I'm doing less better.
Yeah, and that says a lot.
There are so many things I want to pick up.
Yeah.
Um, I wanna do a class. I think group classes always motivate me a little bit more, based on where we live. They're far out. So it would take me 20 minutes just to kinda get dressed and settled in to the actual activity. Sometimes it's not as motivating, but there's a park around the block. And it's just more accessible. And I realize because time is such a big thing for what we do and how we do it, I just want to focus on, can you just lift 10 pounds at your house? Can you just watch a video on YouTube?
Mhm.
So doing less better, definitely a focus point for me. And then the second thing is order, organization. Whether it be the mail piling up
Man, girl.
or just like going back to time, rushing to get out the house for something and then coming back to like, what just did I do this?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
it's a whirlwind.
Right. Just focusing on organization. And maybe that means purging, right? Maybe it's while I'm in a
Mhm,
session listening to people at work, have a small trash bag to the right of you and just throw out some stuff. You can listen and tear mindlessly at things that you don't need.
mhm.
So it's yeah, doing less better, organization, and I think the third thing I think about is grounding myself spiritually through meditation. So inward, just understanding my consciousness, see myself having the thought, community, and nature. I think that's how I ground myself spiritually, is to get connected with people, to get connected with nature, and to get connected with myself. Top 3 right now.
What are you gonna start with? So, I think we should pick one for this month to start with. Well, we are maybe for the next 2 months. How about that?
That's
Because I
good.
feel like
Grace.
the month goes, yeah, give each other some
Before I
grace.
can think, it's gone.
It's gone, and I'm just like, "Ugh, I didn't do it." Okay. So or
Okay.
how about, like, if we divide the year into quarters, January to March, practice these 1 or 2 things.
Oof. Oof. The non-negotiable one? Oof. You know what? I'm gonna call it the game changer. Which one is the game changer?
The one so you mean pick 1?
Yes, if you had to pick one, like, what's the game changer? They're all important.
Mm, well, I think for me I would do 2 because I know it's the overachiever in me, but because with the reflection aspect of it, I feel like that's at the end of the day, and so I can find time to do that. And for me, so mine is spending more time in reflecting and reading my Bible. The other is physical activity or doing something outside the house. And so I feel like that those 2 I can focus on. I feel like it wouldn't be hard to try and do. Not to say I'm gonna be perfect every day or whatever, but I feel like I can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. You so can do this because you've done it.
Mhm.
It is not something that is, um, unfamiliar. It's just it's a time management thing. It's where in the circle of things can I insert this?
Mhm. And I think for me too, like, I've had to ask myself, "Okay, what does my walk with Christ look like?" You know? And before life had so many different things, I was able to, like, say, "Okay, Imma spend, like, an hour reading or, doing something." But now what I've learned is that it's doesn't have to look like that all the time, and it won't look like that all the time. But if I go through my day with my heart postured on having that, like, continuous conversation with Christ, asking him, "Okay, Lord, what do you want from me today? Show me something about yourself." Like, that talking to him is meaningful and is a relationship, which is what he wants from us? So that's why I think, like, I've just had to continually reshape in my mind that it's a relationship. It's not just act. It's not just me do do do. It's like a relationship, and yeah, I talk, but I must also listen. And it's not me asking. It's must also like subjecting myself to his will. So seeking him in that way. And so for me, I guess that would be the first one because I feel like everything else flows from that for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So centering yourself in your spiritual, like your religious practice, and then everything
Mhm.
else will follow suit.
Yeah, and sometimes going for that walk will be the physical, like going for a walk where I am talking to God, but I'm also moving my body. So that's why I was like, I think it can work together.
Yeah. 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 It's yeah. I totally get this. My top two organization. It's loud at this point. It's loud.
It's calling your name.
It's calling my name. It's like, girl, you you have good people around you. You have things working in your favor. You can say yes to any of these things, but you need to sharpen some things up a little bit because I truly believe I have too many tabs open right now.
Yeah.
And this is not just, is my inbox going to be at 0 in the next 3 months? Absolutely not. No. But I think from a physical space, I am discounting what disorder does to my psychological to my energy, to how I show up.
Mm, yeah.
I'm discounting the impact of it in my life.
Wow. Yeah.
Outside of organization, discernment, and I think that's having to do with spiritual wisdom practice because I realize, hey, you're talented. Hey, you can be a leader. Hey, opportunities will come and go. I am asking for my inner voice to speak with me and ask for wisdom. What is for me and what do I need to put down without feeling like I'm grieving it or it's an opportunity missed? What is for you is for you. So you don't have to feel like you got to spread yourself this thin.
Yeah.
Those are my top 2 non-negotiables moving forward the next 90 days.
I love that. I love that. All right, girl, we got to do this.
Right? I'm gonna check you in. I already put it in the calendar. 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna give you a soft nudge because
Yeah.
it's needed.
So I'm gonna start doing all this probably like January 2nd. Like,
Because
after
babe,
I press submit on this deadline that I'm working on, then Imma reorient myself to this, but in the meantime, Imma at least think about what type of activity I wanna join these next 3 months and see if what my budget can look like with it.
and it makes sense.
And
You're being honest
yeah,
with yourself.
yeah, and for those listening in, please let us know what are your, things that you are working on these as the new year is upon us for yourself, for your family, for your health, whatever. What are some things that are you're trying to do better for yourself?
Please do share because we're learning too. We're all learning as we go. And I think when you not only come out of yourself, you think amongst yourselves, but you tap into your network, tap into people who are navigating similar situations, you learn a lot. And I'm open to that too. So we
Yeah.
want to hear from you.
All right.
Until
Thanks
next
for
time, y'all,
listening. Be hopeful.
be hopeful.